All right, this is take two. Not very good at these. Um, just me. The kids are off playing at the playground. If you hear some noises in the background, we've got some friends and family coming to help finish our home. Um, I'll get to some cal updates here in a minute. We have recently, just before the birth of Amelia, who is now two months and a couple weeks, somewhere between 2 and 3 months old now. So we've been here for about 2 or 3 months. We had an issue with our apartment complex. They were going to make us sign a whole new contract. Um, the in-laws had bought a house, and I was going to finish their basement so we could move in. Um, Unfortunately, we had to up that schedule a little bit, and so I wonder if this will let me switch now. It will not let me switch. That's okay. Um, their room is really messy, but we'll give it a shot here. See if you can see. You can see the paint up there, and the floor is not done being floored. It's hard to tell because the rug's there. Anyway, the closet's the last part I haven't finished in here with the flooring. Um, the rest of this, so we have the master bedroom done, we have the kids' room done, we have the bathroom done. I would say 90% done on all of those things. Um, the There's little things like floorboards and stuff like that that haven't been done. Light fixtures. We just have hanging light bulbs for now. I'm gonna turn this around so there's not a shadow on my face. From here, appliance go. If you do anything with stormwater, need stormwater inspection software. I did a lot of the design for Compliance Go, and do a lot of their marketing and things when they need it. It's a lot of their design, so huge shout out for them for being supportive and getting me work. Anyway, where was I? Anyways, we have some friends and family coming in doing the house. We had um, Uncle Warren and Aunt Deborah. This would be Oakley's aunt and uncle. And the whole Foster family came out and did mudding and taping on the drywall that we had finished and did the first coat there. This is my brother, my older brother, and he has family, friends, family. They're friends that are like family. They're family. Um, that have come over from Panama and started a handyman business. Extremely talented. Enrique and his daughter Rosie do it. They are actually the ones who hung the drywall in that room for us. And they're coming in and just knocking some more stuff out, trying to get us a home to live in. Right now, we're sharing an upstairs with the in-laws, which is uh, the our in-laws are fantastic. Joel, Sarah, Piper, Shad, even the older ones, Brooke and Lexus. Brooke's husband Trey, Trey's family, fantastic. People have been very supportive. Um, I'm functioning on very little sleep this whole week, so pardon my pauses. Um, anyway, a lot of people have been coming out to help. They're here now to help finish up some things. Hopefully, what we're trying to do is create a space for us as a family, where we can be a family, and not that the in-laws aren't our family, because they are, and they have been a huge part of our family, and it's impacting them just as hard as it's impacting us. Um, but sometimes because we have three babies, we have a 3 month old, a 2 year old, and a 4 year old. She'll be 4 in a couple days on August 10th. So make sure you wish Honora happy birthday. She has been feeling very I'm going to say neglected. She's jealous of the attention that Kaladin's receiving, which is understandable. She doesn't. They grew up together, right? So they were both COVID babies. Cal was born literally the day they were putting up the signs on the hospital that said you have to wear a mask, you have to do this and that for COVID. Um, so he was born literally that day. So they both have been the epitome of COVID babies, which means they have no social skills. They haven't really been outside. They don't really have a lot of friends because we just moved. We haven't been able to go to church because of Cal's. We either had a newborn who had a wonky immune system, and now we have Kaladin who has a wonky immune system, and so she hasn't been able to meet many friends in the area. So they've had each other since Cal was born. So for the last few years, they have been best friends. And so when Cal gets a bunch of presents, and he feels a little left out. Now, granted, these presents are not exactly, they're presents, which some of them are good and some of them are bad. Some of them he hates, but are really good for him. Which I want to talk about. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember who sent everything, so I apologize. This looks like it was somebody from off the registry. I don't think we have all the thank you cards in there. We do plan on sending out individual thank yous. Anyway, what this is a little spot of feelings. There's a book that goes along with it. That's somewhere. On the inside is a little poster that shows feelings. Now, the reason we put this on the registry is because Kaladin is nonverbal. He can say a few words, but for the most part, he's pretty nonverbal. And so that we have requested a lot of things that will help with that. So before I get on to the rest of this, I'm going to backtrack and do an update. So, we are at day 14, 13, day 12. Day 12 of cycle 1. So what that means is Cal has received 2 chemo treatments. The first one went pretty well. At the very tail end of the first one, his blood levels tanked. His immune system tanked. It dropped to nearly 0. Well, it dropped to 0. He ended up getting a fever, an infection of some sort, had a fever. So on Monday, Oakley took him up to the emergency room up at Primary Children's. And they got that all worked out. And the next day, they started his next chemo treatment, even though his immune system was nothing. But they did give him a blood transfusion, so they were monitoring his levels. His neutrophil count, which is the white blood cells that fight off infection, was 0. He had like none of those in his body at all. His platelet count, which mostly is in charge of like clotting and things, that was at 0. His hemoglobin was about half of normal, so it wasn't terrible. But they gave him a blood transfusion. He was feeling much better. He came home. Excuse me. Tuesday night. Got home Tuesday night. He is showing a lot of symptoms of the chemo. Not the ones you'd think of. So he's getting sores around his mouth. So we have to be very diligent about brushing his teeth and cleaning his mouth out with different mouthwash things and medicines. He hates it. It's a struggle. His Achilles heel has locked up, and so he walks like he's in ski boots. Best way I can describe it. Walks a little weird, um, but he's still walking. The heartbreaking part about it for me is that there are so many side effects that we can't see, um, that he's feeling. And so, for example, this morning he woke up and was just miserable, and we couldn't really tell why, what was going on. And so that's where things like this come in handy. Now, this poster, it's not just the poster, it comes with these little toys, little stuffies that have feelings attached to them. So we've got anxiety, and then if you look, anxiety has a whole lot of other feelings there with him as well, and I can't read backwards, so embarrassed, scared. He had made a pretty messy diaper. Love. There's anger. Confident. Calm, peaceful. Where did anxiety, sadness, and scribble is confused. And there's actually one more, a yellow one, which is silly. And the kid sits around here on the floor somewhere in the kids' room. But we definitely take these to the hospital with us every time we go. But for example, today he had quite a messy bum, and having just had chemo, we call it chemo bum. It burns, it stinks, it's just the most awful thing in the world that you can think of, in terms of kid poop. Like, normal kid diarrhea has nothing on this stuff. This is like irradiated toxic like, we have to use gloves to change his diaper, because it's so toxic. And if that's what's coming out of this diaper, you can imagine what's going into him, and that's just heartbreaking in and of itself as well. Anyway, so he had a messy diaper, he was hurting all over, he was just really uncomfortable, and so we put him in a bath, some Epsom salt, but he was not awake enough for that, and because he's nonverbal, it's hard to tell how to best help him. And so he's in the bath, and I brought in these toys, and I said, how are you feeling? And we showed him the toys and things like that, and showed him this, and he goes and he points to anxious. That was the first one he pointed to. Let me see if we can just angle this down so I can point it. So he points to anxious, and so he said, are you anxious? And he says, uh-huh. I said, what are you anxious about? And then he kind of looks around and he goes, stressed? Uh-huh. Oh no, he did nervous. Nervous? Uh-huh. Worried? Uh-huh. What are you worried about? And he goes, which is fear. Oh, you're afraid. Okay, what are you afraid of? And he just sat there trying to think of how to communicate with us. And so we started playing a little guess game. We said, are you afraid that changing your diaper was going to hurt? And I was, were you afraid that the water was not going to be comfortable in the bath? And so that's kind of how it helped him identify his feelings. And then we said, okay, how did that make you feel when we made you do it anyway? And so he pointed furious, and I said, oh, it made you so mad. And he goes, mad. And I said, well, do you feel better now that you've taken a bath? And he goes, this one. And he points to this one. You can see it's all wet from where he was pointing at it in the bathtub. But I was like, oh, you feel calm, and so that being able to communicate with us through that way just instantly changed his demeanor. He started being goofy and playing again. He knew that we understood um, how he was feeling, and that um, he was happy that he could communicate that to us, because he gets so frustrated because he can't. He wants so bad to tell us what's going on, to show us and tell us what hurts, but he for whatever reason, and I don't know, I don't think it has anything to do with the cancer. It's not autism. We had him tested for that. And dyslexia, who knows? Maybe he's just behind. I'm not sure. But having something like this, hugely helpful. Hugely helpful. Let me give you another example. We put on there a little dance game. And I think Oakley may have already posted some videos on Instagram about this, where there's a lot of different modes, but like there's a memory mode, so it'll light up a corner, and you have to step on that corner, and it'll light up, and it'll go beep, beep, beep. Like those games from the 80s. But this one was like a dance model, and you can actually put your own music onto it and stuff. So we're having a hard time getting him to poop because of all the medications. He gets constipated, and so we just need to get him up and moving. And so he did not feel like that, obviously, because his bones hurt, his Achilles is all locked up. Things are just really not, he's not in a mood to walk around, but we need to get him moving in order to keep his muscles up and in order to keep everything flowing nice. And so I started playing on it. Luckily, it fit my weight limit. I'm under 200 pounds, so I was okay. Then Annie wanted, of course, play with it, and then Shad and Piper wanted to play with it. And then when he saw that they were interested, he wanted to get up and play with it. And so he was getting up and playing with it, and sure enough, that worked the poopies right out. It worked really fantastic. But even if it didn't, just seeing him being able to get up and move and have fun and laugh, that's super important too. That's something we also take to the hospital with us, so he's not just stuck in bed. Even when he's attached to all the IVs and the EKG and things like that, he can just step off the side of his bed and play that little game. Oakley has been busy modifying pajamas. I want to put any in here. I'm going to step out to my room where it's going to be just a little bit loud here where they're doing the construction. This is really cute. Teddy bear, combat cow. He's starting to recognize that that's his little saying, I guess you can say. And no, there are no doors on the room. What was I in here for? PJs. They're probably in the bathroom. This is our wonderful home. Oakley did that cool little accent on the wall. And like I said, no, we do not have doors yet. But I'm going to go back into their room because theirs kind of has a door. It's not fit in correctly. But,
are you doing an update?
Hi, yeah. I'll close this so I can get rid of some of the noise. You guys back from the park?
Yeah.
So Oakley has got these plastic snaps. There's snaps
there's
on this
not
one?
on this one yet.
Oh. Well, I'm a big fat liar.
We can show what it will be, though.
Do you want to?
I can do it. So typically, his port, it goes from right here, and then the tubing goes down to like his belly button. And then so they have to pull up his shirt all the time, and he hates it. And when he wears footy pajamas, it would have to go all the way down to his foot or up through his neck, which would really bother him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a 1 to 2 inch hole right here and put plastic snaps like on a onesie. Those are metal, but these are plastic. snaps on them so that we can just unsnap it and put the port or the tubing through the port, the hole rather.
Important to be plastic because if he needs to get an MRI, CT
Which
scan.
he can't wear these because the zipper is metal.
Right.
But we do have some that aren't.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So like when I'm gonna put plastic on his, on my shirt, whatever. Oh, it's a light. Plastic on his like tank tops, so that because they have to check the port every time they change shifts when they switch shifts. They have to check the port dressing rather.
Clave is what they call it.
No, they have to check the dressing to make sure it hasn't.
Oh.
Anyway, they do check the clave.
But they do have to like replace the clave every time they change out.
Yeah. So, but the dressing is up here, so they have to pull the shirt all the way up, and he hates it. So, I'm gonna put 2 things right on his tank tops, so that they can just unbutton it, open it up, see the dressing, and then button it back up, so he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. But those he could wear to an MRI, not worry about metal everywhere. So,
thank you. So if you looked at the Amazon list, those are the type of pajamas that are on there. I believe people have gotten some for us. I'm going to be honest here, I don't know. I know somebody got me I put some sandals on there because putting shoes on and off at the hospital when you have to like get up in the middle of the night to go check on them is a pain. I didn't really have any sandals, so I put some sandals on there, and I actually know who got me the sandals, and I think we've already sent a thank you out, but if you haven't got it, thank you. I'm not going to say your name just so I'm not keeping everything. I know who you are. You may not know me. I don't think we've actually ever met, but I do know who you are, and they're much appreciated. And then this gimbal that I'm currently using was a gift from my father for my birthday, and that was on the list as well. He got that for us, as well as some other toys for Cal. But I just wanted to show that the things that are being put on the Amazon list are really they're things that at some point or another we are going to be buying ourselves at some point. And so when people ask how they can help, this is where we point them and say, well, this is the stuff we still need. We haven't got the money right now to do it, to get those things, but anything on that list is something that we greatly need. We've put together hospital go bags for both Oakley and I and Kaladin. Actually, I think everybody has a hospital go bag, just because it's just going to depend on when he goes in, if it's to the emergency room, if it's to a normal visit, if we have to do an extended stay. So they're almost like bug out bags that stay in our car, but they're hospital bags. There's a couple things that we still would like. Oakley actually wanted a phone charger, like a charging brick, because she was in the ER and they didn't have I don't know, something. And so she found one. She asked me what brand I want, and I said Anchor, ANKER. I love the Anchor products. So Anchor, if you're out there and you want to sponsor this, wouldn't mind. Currently not sponsored, but the Anchor products, ever since they first came out many moons ago, is when I started following them, and their technology, their hardware has just been fantastic. Everything I've gotten from them has been amazing. And so when Oakley said she wanted a charging brick, charging battery for her phone, I told her, I said, get an Anchor. She goes, yeah, but they're a little bit more expensive now. And I said, I know, but the technology they have on there, the way they have them built, they're built solidly, because I said, you you know mine. I've had mine for near on a decade. I don't actually know how old it is, but I said it's solid. It's solid material. It works, and the technology they have won't ruin your phone's battery. And I know a lot of phones have protections in them now, so that doesn't happen. But anyway, she went ahead and ordered one of those, and it actually arrived 2 hours later. I guess there was one in a warehouse nearby, so same day delivery. It was really quite shocking. Um, anyway, so that's what the stuff on the Amazon list is for. And so if you look at something and go, why on earth is this on there? There's a reason, and if you want to know, please feel free to ask. It's ask if you are a parent of a cancer child and want to know, or if you are looking to get something and you're not quite sure that is something that really needs to be got. And some of the stuff, I'm not gonna lie, is just nice, some nice things to have. So I'm gonna show you Cal's bed here. Cal's bed. We got a bunch of different sheet covers for him. Yes, that's a TV box. Don't ask why. Room's not finished yet. But we need to change his sheets fairly often, and so some of the deep fitted, easy change sheets. We've actually got there's a pillow right here to keep him from rolling, and then the edge here to keep him super from rolling off. Um, he likes to be able to sit up, so Aunt Lexus, Oakley's sister, got him this. Of course, we got the veggie straws over there because right now, anything he's willing to eat, literally at any point, we want him to eat. I know this is turning into a long video. It's gonna keep going. When they went into the hospital, they said, okay, if he gets under 11.5 kilograms, we want to put it in a feeding tube through his nose. And he was at 11.4. And Oakley and I talked it over, and we said, no, we're not going to do that yet. It's going to happen eventually. He's going to have to get a feeding tube. But whether that's yesterday or a month from now, having a feeding tube is one of those traumatizing things, especially when you're a young kid and other kids go, what's in your nose? And you're nonverbal and you can't tell them, well, it's a feeding tube because I'm going through chemo and I need more nutrients. Like, it's a little traumatizing in my mind. And so we actually got him up to 11.6 before he left. And so we call that a booyah, and he's been eating real good. Letting him eat whatever he wants whenever he wants has helped. It is a little hard though, trying to keep a decent diet on the other kids because when Cal can wake up at 2 a.m. and have an ice cream cone, and I have to tell Annie no because she needs to sleep, and Cal needs calories more than he needs sleep, or like when Cal will get something in the mail, a toy, a fidget toy or something to take to the hospital, and he goes, well, where's one for me? Because remember, these kids have been attached by the hip. Literally, they have been best friends since he's been born. And it's a little bit heartbreaking. And it's hard, and we've tried to explain it to her. She is 4, so she kind of gets it. But at the same time, she's 4, and there's a lot of jealousy going around with that. So those are some of the struggles that we've been dealing with. We've got friends and family over doing construction on the rest of our home, and so we're at Saturday today. Tuesday will be day 15, cycle 1, day 15. It will be the last chemo treatment of cycle 1. We've set up a little station in the house with hand sanitizer and stuff. So anybody that comes in, there's masks available. There's hand sanitizer, and it's like the good stuff. Nana did not skimp when she, when she got this stuff. It's like this nice hand lotion, but that's also hand sanitizer. So it's not just like sanitizing your hands, but it's moisturizing. Um, I'm trying to think of other things that people have gotten us. I can't think. Oakley has done most of the registry stuff. Um, there have been people who have been doing some charity events on their YouTube channels or Instagram channels and things. Things people I don't even know. They know Oakley or they know Oakley's siblings, um, who are doing these